Dr. S. Shankar is a professor, Department of Physics at Madras Institute of Technology, Anna University, Chennai. His area of specialization is solid-state physics. He has guided more than 10 PhD scholars. He has published more than 50 national and international research papers. He has 28 years of teaching experience.
Welcome to UGC lecture series, and the topic we are going to see is on lattice dynamics fundamental aspects. In this lecture, the aim is to understand the quantum mechanical nature of lattice vibrations and quantized lattice vibrational energy phonon and their properties, then the heat capacity of solids due to these lattice vibrations, that is due to phonons. What is a phonon? So, it is actually a quantized lattice vibration. And what do you mean by lattice? It is a regular and periodic array of atoms in a solid. They constitute a lattice. The definition of a lattice is regular and periodic arrangement of points in space, and with each point we have an atom or group of atoms in a solid depending upon the nature of the solid, and in this solid the lattice atoms are not at rest, and because of the nature of their bonding with each other, they possess lattice vibration, that is, these atoms are not at rest in their mean positions. They possess vibration motion with respect to their mean position, and these vibration motions are actually not independent from atom to atom. Because of their bonding nature, they are all clubbed together, and this vibration, nature of vibration, is actually called as collective vibration, and this is also known as collective mode, because with these vibrations we can classify them into different modes depending upon their degrees of freedom, and these modes are therefore called as collective modes, and these collective modes also propagate through the material depending upon the nature of the force applied. Such propagating lattice vibrations are the mechanical waves, because these waves are originated from the mechanical medium vibration, and these can also be considered to be sound waves, because the vibration frequency and wavelength, these are in the mechanical wave range. Their propagating speed is the speed of sound in the solid. These vibrational energies can also be quantized, like with the electromagnetic radiation quantization, and these quantized lattice vibrations can be treated in terms of quantum mechanics, and these are called traditionally as quantum harmonic oscillators. Quantum harmonic oscillators have equally spaced energy levels with separation of energy del E equal to h nu, where h is Planck's constant and nu is the vibrational frequency, linear frequency of the atom. Hence, these oscillators can absorb and emit energy only in integral multiples of this basic energy quantum h nu, that is in discrete units of h nu. These quanta of vibrational energy have been labeled as phonons. Like the photons of electromagnetic energy, these phonons also obey Bose-Einstein statistics, and here we have a comparison between the phonons and photons and their properties. The quanta of lattice vibrations are called as phonons. Now, the energy of phonons is given by h Vs by lambda, where this Vs is speed of sound and lambda is the wavelength of the sound wave, which is of the order of lattice parameter, that is angstrom units. In the same way, energy of phonons is also given by hc by lambda, where c is the speed of electromagnetic radiation and lambda is the wavelength of that radiation. And phonons also have momenta in analogous to particles, and this is given by h by lambda, and similarly for photons we have a same type of relation h by lambda, where these lambdas are representing their corresponding wavelengths. Now, energy spectrum of quantized harmonic oscillator is well studied by quantum mechanics, and the results are given as follows. Energy spectrum is given by n plus half h cross omega, where h cross is Planck's constant divided by 2 pi, and it is a short form for that, and omega is the angular frequency of the wave. And the energy is, this energy spectrum is schematically represented here, and this is a equally spaced energy spectrum as given by this schematic diagram. So, at this point we actually go to the quantum mechanical treatment of these waves, and this represents equally spaced energy levels of atoms that are vibrating at a single frequency omega are schematically represented here. And this E0 equal to h cross omega by 2 gives the value of the energy at n equal to 0, that is the quantum number n equal to 0, and this is called the lowest energy of the vibrating atom, and this is never actually 0, and this is called ground state energy or 0 point energy. And a transition from a lower state to higher state of a harmonic oscillator is in general given by this del E equivalent to this higher state energy spectrum or energy value minus lower state energy value given by n2 minus n1 into h cross omega, where this n2 minus n1 is again an integer, and for successive levels this is unity, and in general this will be another integral multiple of h cross omega, which shows that either absorption or emission takes place in integral multiples of this basic energy quantum h cross omega. The converse transition results and emission, that is, this is something about the emission. Now, phonons are quanta of lattice vibrations as mentioned earlier with an angular frequency of omega, and these are not localized particles. In fact, these are all called as quasi particles, and these quasi particles are not localized, and its momentum is in fact exact, but position cannot be determined because of the uncertainty principle. That means it is due to their non-localized nature. However, a slightly localized wave packet can be considered by combining modes of slightly different lambda and omega. Now, we can assume waves with spread of some wave number k with a value of pi by 10a, where a is a lattice parameter, and this wave packet will be localized within 10 unit cells, and this wave packet will represent a fairly localized phonon moving with a group velocity of d omega by dk, and this is the expression for the so called group velocity, and the phonons can be treated as localized particles within some limits, and by particles here we mean quasi particles. Now, there is a transition between the energy and the momentum representations like this. See, here we can have omega variation with respect to k, which is known as omega k variation, and if we multiply both these omega and k by h cross, then we get energy here and h cross k as a momentum. So, this axis, that is combination here, represents energy versus momentum behavior. So, these phonons are not conserved and they can be created and destroyed during collisions. We will see something about the thermal energy and lattice vibrations. So, atoms vibrate about their mean equilibrium position and they produce vibrational waves. This motion is increased as the temperature is raised. By motion here, what we mean is the amplitude of the motion. This amplitude of the motion will increase if we increase the temperature. So, in a solid, the energy associated with the lattice vibration and perhaps also with the rotation of the atoms and molecules is called thermal energy. And so, we have some schematic aspects of the translation and rotation and the combination of such motions. Therefore, the concept of thermal energy is fundamental to the understanding of many of the basic properties of solids, and we would like to know actually what is the value of this thermal energy and how much is available to scatter a conduction electron in a metal, since this scattering gives rise to electrical resistance, and the energy can be used to activate a crystallographic or a magnetic transition. Of course, this is not within the limits of our topic now. How the vibrational energy changes with the temperature, since this gives a measure of heat energy which is necessary to raise the temperature of the material or even lower the temperature of material in fact. So, recall that the specific heat or heat capacity is a thermal energy which is required to raise the temperature of a unit mass or 1 gram mole by 1 Kelvin. Heat capacity from lattice vibrations. The energy value given to lattice vibrations is the dominant contribution to the heat capacity in most solids. In non-magnetic insulators, it is the only contribution in fact. The other contributions are in metals from the conduction electrons, and in magnetic materials, magnetic ordering. Heat capacity from lattice vibrations. Atomic vibrations leads to band of normal mode frequencies from 0 up to some maximum value. Calculation of the lattice energy and heat capacity of a solid therefore falls into two parts: evaluation of the contribution of a single mode and the summation of such energy over the entire frequency distribution of each of the modes. Energy and heat capacity of a harmonic oscillator is presented here in Einstein model. That is, here we are going to consider how this heat capacity is studied with the Einstein model of a solid for lattice vibrations. So, this is given in general by energy. This bar here represents average, a statistical average of the energy of a vibrating atom. Now, this is given by summation over n p n multiplying E n divided by summation over p n, where this summation is over all such integral values n here, where the n represents quantum number of the vibrating atom which is coming in the energy spectrum, and p n is the probability of the oscillator possessing the given energy E n at the given temperature T. This slide here gives rise to the method of evaluating this E bar. It is a mathematical procedure actually, and we substitute the energy spectrum and p n value within the summation in the numerator and also in the denominator, and then expand this and do all that. Here we define the denominator quantity as a so called partition function Z in the statistical mechanics, and we can expand this the quantities in the summation and finally obtain Z equal to this value. And here we can go for a substitution for simplicity, x equal to minus h cross omega by kBt, and proceed with the evaluation of the energy in terms of Z, and the procedure goes like this, and finally we get this is a mathematical procedure, nothing more serious to say in terms of physics. It is a mathematical procedure, and finally we get this epsilon bar, that is the average energy of a vibrating atom is given by half h cross omega plus h cross omega by this e power h cross omega by kBt minus 1, and this is the mean energy of phonons. The first term is in the above equation is the 0 point energy. As we have mentioned before, even at 0 degree Kelvin, atoms vibrate in the crystal and have 0 point vibration, and this motion is in general called as 0 point motion. This is a minimum energy of the system. So, note that the minimum energy is not 0. The average number of phonons is given by Bose-Einstein distribution as n of omega equal to 1 by e power h cross omega by kBt minus 1. That is, this factor which is multiplying h cross omega here is termed as some number factor which is called as the average number of phonons, and this is given by the Bose-Einstein. This is called as a Bose-Einstein distribution in statistical mechanics. The second term is in the mean energy is the contribution of phonons to the energy. Mean energy of a harmonic oscillator as a function of t is represented here following the above equation. Now, as temperature increases, it becomes a straight line, whereas at lower temperature it goes as h cross omega by 2, and this is what the low temperature limit. So, here we can see how the function behaves. So, we go for h cross omega far greater than kBt limit, and within this limit or the approximation, here actually you can see that the second term goes 0 and only first term exists for t very close to 0. That is 0 point energy alone remains there. Now, at high temperature, then we go for the approximation. H cross omega is far lesser than kBt, that is thermal energy, and then with the above mentioned abbreviation of X equal to h cross omega by kBt, we can expand this e power x and go for applying this approximation here and expand this further. Then finally, we can see that it is half h cross omega plus kBt, that is linear behavior is obtained at high temperature, and this is valid here. And at high temperature, in fact, kBt dominates h cross omega by 2, so we can neglect this at very high temperature. So, this can be treated as almost equivalent to kBt. Now, how do you get the heat capacity? See, heat capacity is defined as d epsilon bar by dt, that is first differential of the average energy with respect to temperature, and this is actually the heat capacity per oscillator. So, we carry out this differentiation for this epsilon bar, and the procedure goes like this, and finally, we can define temperature equivalent quantity theta equal to h cross omega by k, where k represents here the kb, that is Boltzmann constant, and h cross omega is the quantum energy, and theta equal to h cross omega by k. If we define in terms of theta, we can write this specific heat per oscillator as kb into theta by t whole square, then e power theta by t divided by e power theta by t minus 1 whole square. This is the so called Einstein model of specific heat per atom or per oscillator, and we describe some properties of this Cv with respect to temperature, and the behavior goes somewhat like this, which shows that the specific heat is not linear and it is having a functional behavior, and the area between the curve and the Cv axis here is equivalent to the 0 point energy h cross omega by 2, and high temperature limit is a saturated value of Cv, and that is equal to kb. This is per mode in fact, and again we have this, and there is some explanation further for this, and if we evaluate this quantity for unit mass and mass of the material and proceed, then the saturation value can be represented as equivalent to 3R, which is actually a Drude limit or the so called Dulong-Petit law. And here we have a statement of the Dulong-Petit law. This law states that specific heat of a given number of atoms of any solid is independent of temperature and is the same for all materials, and this is true only at high temperature. This is a classical result, and the above theory shows that the classical result is obtained only at high temperatures, and so at fairly practical range of temperature and fairly low temperatures, the classical law is violated, and Einstein theory could explain it to this extent. Now, this is something about the classical law. The average energy as per classical law is given by 3 times n kBT, where n is the density or the concentration of atoms, and 3 here refers to the 3 modes, and kBT is the average energy per mode, and so 3 n kBT is the average energy of unit concentration of the particles in the solid, and this is also equivalent to 3 RT, where R is the universal gas constant, and n can also be taken actually as the Avogadro number in terms of the mass if you go for. Then Kb is Boltzmann constant and R is a gas constant. If we differentiate this to obtain Cv, then we get Cv equivalent to 3R, and the value of Cv therefore is always constant, nearly 6 calories per Kelvin per mole. Einstein heat capacity on the other hand is not constant as Dulong-Petit law, and we have seen it as above, and Einstein relation gives rise to Dulong-Petit law only at high temperature as given here. Then this of course gives the specific heat values for different types of materials. So, pattern can change like this, starting from solid to gas, liquid, and so on. Here we have some discrepancy of Einstein model. Some drawbacks are there. Einstein model is not 100% explaining all the temperature range behavior of a specific heat, and the first one is actually here we summarize some properties of Einstein model. Einstein model also gave correctly a specific heat tending to 0 at absolute 0, but the temperature dependence near T equal to 0 did not agree with the experiment. Although experiment also shows that at T equal to 0 specific heat is 0, but the mathematical function of a specific heat with the temperature is not matching with the experimental result. The reason for this discrepancy is that the Einstein model did not take into account of the distribution of lattice vibration frequencies, that is the density of states of vibrational modes or normal modes. Now, taking into account of this distribution of vibration frequencies in a solid, this discrepancy has been removed by Debye in fact, and this theory is known as Debye model of specific heat of solids. Now, here is a list of the summary of our understanding so far from this lecture. Quantum nature of lattice vibrations and their energy spectrum is outlined. Its effect on the thermal excitation of a solid and hence heat capacity is understood. Einstein model of heat capacity treating atoms as identical oscillators has been studied, and the merit of Einstein model is it explains the nature of vibration and the nature of temperature variation of specific heat and high temperature limit of the specific heat. Both have been explained, but there is a demerit in Einstein model. It does not consider the frequency distribution of density of normal modes, and so could not explain the low temperature limit of experimental result, which is familiarly known as T cube law of specific heats. There are a few questions to ponder into the topics that we have studied so far. First assignment is, how does the specific heat depend on temperature in Einstein model of a solid? And another question is, are the lattice vibrations in Einstein model considered to be independent of each other or dependent on each other? And the third question is, what is called the density of normal modes of vibration in a solid? Thank you for being with me so far.